Well, it is here. It's the RetroTech 120p challenge, where competitors are allowed to practice as many times as they want on a particular arcade game that's selected at the beginning of the week. But then they have to have one recorded run, and that's it. That's the one you put down. Are you up for the challenge? Well, join the RetroTech 120p community down below using that link there and show us your bits. So this week it's Wonderboy. Everyone, well, 3 or 4 people went for Wonderboy, and Wonderboy was duly chosen. It's a 1986 coin-op of some renown, an early contender for Sega's mascot. I'd say maybe about the same time as Alex Kidd, maybe a bit before, because this was, as well as coming out in the arcade, it came out on the SG-1000, that very early Sega console. So it might even predate Alex Kidd. This is Master Tom Tom, this guy. He's a Wonderboy, wonderful boy, a Wonderboy indeed. And yes, skateboard, not entirely sure it's useful, but there we go. But yeah, it's basically Boris Johnson as a child, isn't it? And when he stands still, it looks like he needs a wee. So this was on a lot of different consoles and computers. It was on the Sega Master System, the SG-1000, as I said. It was on the Game Gear. It was on all the 8-bit computers. And some really good conversions on the 8-bit computers from memory as well. So, well worth a go, this one. I think if I'm recording this quite early in the week, so if you see it early in the week, please give it a go. Sean has set the... Not Sean. It's not Sean at all. It's Anthony. Anthony has set the pace this week with... the moment it went out, so did he, and he was like, I'm up for this challenge, and he thrust his big old effort right in our faces, and he got really far. I will not get as far. There are 7 levels in total, of which are made up of 4 stages, and I don't get anywhere near any sort of success, so don't worry about that, kids. The second level onwards is an absolute beast, and you'll see why in a minute when I get there. There's a jump right near the end where if you don't get it right first time, I think you're going to struggle to do it. It helps if you've got the skateboard. The skateboard is horrible most of the time, because especially on levels like this where you've got little platforms, because it goes perpetually forward, and you can sort of just pull back a bit if you want. There's me very cautiously dancing as I need a wee there. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of Wonderboy, I have to say. I get it. I get, like, for 1986, this game is incredible. It was one of the first games I think I ever played. I think this was one of the many games I played in Gatwick Airport, which was my kind of first introduction to computer games, along with things like Battle Zone and Elevator Action. What else did I play there? Outrun, things like that. Before like the fair came round and all the arcades that were with them. So yeah, the storyline to this is that man here, Tom Tom, has to rescue his girlfriend, Miss Tina, from the evil Dark King Drancon. And he does that by pegging through all these different areas. He looks a bit young to have a girlfriend, if you ask me. He's supposed to be a boy, isn't he? Is he not a toddler? I mean, you shouldn't give toddlers throwing axes, but nor should they be having sex with members of the opposite sex. Which makes, if Tina's also a child, it sort of makes Dark King Drancon very dark indeed. So that's my first effort over with. So I think it's probably fair to say that those of you that are still watching may be waiting for a genital fact. And the genital fact this week is about the very first creature you encounter in the game, which is, of course, the snail. So the snail. How does snail reproduction work? Do we want to know this? Why, yes, we do. Garden snails have both sets of reproductive cells, meaning they are hermaphrodites and can reproduce asexually. That's my excuse too. This, probably they have to be hermaphrodites because, dates are hard enough to come by. If you're going to be late for each one, late to that lettuce leaf, it kind of makes sense. Courtship, if they do meet another snail, consists of stabbing each other with a love dart. much like you did to Becky in Year 9 at your school disco around her waist area. The love dart, or gypsabellum, is stabbed indiscriminately into the flank of the other hermaphrodite snail. This injects more male hormones to prevent new snail sperm from being killed during copulation, because it's all about passing on your genes, you selfish git. Then each snail puts their penis, because remember, they've got both sets, into each other's vaginas. Now, I know this might sound a bit strange. That sounds really hot, doesn't it? Imagine if you had both sets of genitals. You'd be having like double the orgasm. Surely that's a good thing, and snails are winning at life, apart from that whole thing of getting scooped up by sparrows, and that's that bit of the level that I hate right there. So, yes, and whoever ejaculates first gets to be daddy. That is the most high-risk version of soggy biscuit I've ever heard. Unless you come first, you're going to be left being mum. Not that being a mother is a bad thing, but it requires more work than, just firing off your load and then scooching off to eat a bit of lettuce again. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, please do join the RetroTech 120p challenge, because you know what, you maybe do better at that jump than I do, and I think that can only be a good thing. It is, I don't particularly enjoy Wonderboy, but as I said, I do get it. It is quite it was quite an impressive game for the time, I suppose. It looks very bright and colourful. The weirdest thing about it is Hudson Soft. They made like a version for the NES called Adventure Island, which was exactly the same game, but they swapped out the main character for Master Higgins, who then had his own sequels not related to Wonderboy. A curious thing indeed. And of course the sequels to this were also incredibly different, because they're mainly like sort of RPG action adventures. But anyway, that is enough of that story. This is my go. It wasn't very good. I'm not winning this week because I've lost. However, you may do better. Please do try, and we'll say K thanks, bye.